Starting this meeting. Okay. Okay. So basically, what the replace does is wherever it finds the leader, it will replace with the S king. So let's suppose you don't have leader here, but just try to we will go with Bruce.
Actually, I try to replace the sking plus the
Okay,
sking one.
you're trying to replacing the email. Okay, one second. Let me see the email.
Are you sharing any screen or am I
Okay.
unable to see the screen?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
not able to see your skin.
okay. No issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So now, if you try this one, so wherever you find leader, you will be replacing with the SK. So I don't see the leader. Okay.
No leader is there.
Okay.
I just try to replace this sking with the leader.
Okay. We'll try with the king. So if you see now,
Yeah, but in my PC when I tried this, it's showing only the single column, the email one, without replacing anything.
I didn't get you. So you were getting single column means no. You
Yeah, the
haven't added the
column,
e dot
only
star,
email
right?
column I am getting.
No. You haven't added this e dot star, right? So
Yeah, that's me.
so e dot star will give the whole column list. When you you can do one thing, you can either specify the column name e dot first name. So now you see only first name, email and email, right? Otherwise you don't get it, right? Now you got email, you have an email as well. If you take out this one, it won't appear as well. Or you have an option of just select everything. So most of the time you don't do a select on each and every column. Most of the times you will be selecting a particular whatever required column.
Okay,
But
sure.
Okay.
what
And
else?
I have a question, Ram.
Yeah. Yes, question.
Is there any specified number of characters should be there in a like command so that it can provide the details? Is it any
No, there is no
two or
specific no, there is no specific limit. Earlier versions, there used to be a limitation. It used to be accepting 2000 256 was earlier, previous version, not on the current versions. You can give unlimited.
yeah when I try to do it with the like command, when I try to find the data with the like command,
Hmm.
you using email as the main source, and I put like st as visible in Ernest in the fifth thing,
Hmm.
but it shows all these details, email and all the columns, but it doesn't show any data under it.
Can you
Can
post
you
me the
explain
query?
it for me?
Probably you can you post me the query?
My SQL version is in system, but I'm on a different laptop. I'm sorry.
Okay. So can you at least type the at least the prototype what you wrote it. There is some
Yeah,
issue.
one second.
I mean, I'm sure there is some issue, but we just try to
Okay.
figure it out, where exactly you are having trouble.
Okay, I'll just do it. I wrote down the command actually.
Okay, so post it there, we'll discuss that later. Okay, I think we'll start now. Uh, so we just go brief on on yesterday's topic. Okay, so we were
Date functions. Right.
discussing yesterday about the distinct, aliases, miscellaneous functions, mathematical functions, string functions, and we are going to discuss about date and conversion functions. Pratik, so when you write a like command, so the
Mhm.
first formula is you have to put a parenthesis. I mean, so you have to put a pattern search. So now
Okay.
what
Okay.
you're doing is like what it does is it just search for, if you don't give it like this, like how many character you have in front of it, how many character like after it, it won't pull up anything. You get zero results because it is like it is working like this is similar
Yeah,
to
the same thing I got.
this is similar to this. This is similar to equal. So let's
Okay.
suppose
Okay.
okay, let's suppose we try pull the information. Let's suppose so Steven is there, right? So we put it
Mm-hmm.
like it won't show up in a pattern search, it won't show up. Okay, so it will work similar to like, but it won't give exact match, but you just have to give at least like the pattern search values percentile. It will take like unlimited value in the front and unlimited value at the end, unlimited values at the front and unlimited values at the front. Let's suppose I'll take it out. So just we'll try like EVE. So if you see wherever EVE continually three words, what?
Only it should be in the front.
No, either of thing it will work. Like the pattern search we are doing in front of it and out of it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm trying on a line.
It's
I'm
not
sorry.
in the email. Yeah,
Uh,
it's not in the email. I just got it. Yeah.
so if it is this one, like so if you see now, like which is equivalent to this one, right? So whatever you have, like it is we do it like asking. So what which doesn't use it, like like is not going to work there, like we can use equal instead of that. But when you use the like if you want to do a pattern search, let's say like I'll say percentile in front of it. So wherever I find in operator, I'll be getting the results, like wherever in between. So wherever, so if you see now email, you have in continually on asking, and you have last Dustin, like you have in, like similar to that. You got it right, Pratik? Is that
I
clear?
got it. I got it on. Yeah, I got it on.
So yesterday we were discussing about the different functions, and so the distinct is the first one we were discussing yesterday. Like distinct will give a unique value of a particular column. Suppose if you want to distinct of like I just want to find out how many departments I have, distinct departments I have on my employee table. You just write select a distinct of column name, and from the table name it will give the distinct values. Like even if you have hundreds of thousand records, but you have only 10 or 15 departments on the department number, it will give the unique value. So that's a basic, means we use extensively distinct in so many cases. And the second thing is aliases. So basically if you want to give a different name for a column, like if meaningful name to a column, on a like we do a certain operations, like concatenation is one of the. So you want to give a meaningful name for a particular column, then we will be writing the um, will be giving the aliases. At the same time, like on the table level, we will be giving the aliases for a table. So this will help us to like like you this will help us to have like instead of giving the whole table name, this will help us in like pointing to a particular, so always like and performance wise as well, always aliases will give a better performance comparatively a normal like normal select star from table name. So you have to the best practice in a real-time environment, in a like live environment. So the best practice is to give aliases for each and every table and select a column from there. That's about the aliases. And the second thing is we'll go there. And the third thing is like mathematical functions. We have average, like if you want to find an average. So any mathematical operations basically you can do on the select statement. So any mathematical operations like minimum. If you want to find out a minimum salary of a particular department, then you can write up a minimum. If you want to find out like what is the maximum salary it's going out from a company for a particular employee, then we'll say write up a maximum. And just want to how many records are there on the table, you have to you will use the count. So basically what you do is like so if you want to find out a certain information, then you have to use like one of the mathematical functions. So respective mathematical functions, so mathematical functions always will be useful because the SQL statements basically we will be using for a transaction processing, like banking applications, or like any applications which is related to financial, or like anything like most of the time we store the data for a particular we store the information on a financial information. So that's the reason like if all the mathematical functions, it will be very useful. So if you know like you have even you have like sine and cos, mathematical sine theta and cos theta and tan, even those mathematical functions are available as well, but we don't use it on a regular. Often we don't use it, but often these are the things like we use very often: average, count, floor, and greatest and least, and like maximum, minimum, and mod. Like these are the things usually like we use regularly. Those only things. Those are the
Can
type.
you explain floor for a second, please?
Which one?
If you got time.
Which one?
Floor, floor.
Floor will give like if you have like precision, and if you want to get I just straight like suppose if you have a salary of 2000.00, I don't want zero zeros, then you just write up a floor of the column name. It will take a trim out of the zero zeros, so it will just give the
Okay,
2000.
we can use the round also for the
Yes,
same thing.
that's the. But round, what it does is like round, you have to, it will accept two parameters. One is the column name, and the second one is like how many precisions you want. Suppose
Okay,
if you have like 10 precision, you can keep it round of column name comma 10, it will give 10. If you want to trim it to only one round of one, it will give like 2000.0. So you can
okay,
mention there, like how many values. Or if you say round of 0, it will give 2000. Same functionality you can use it, but you always use the like exact functionality whatever you are going to use for. So that's the
okay.
thing. Okay. And so minimum, maximum, you all know these things, and round, you know this one. Sum also, you guys know like what sum. So basically these are the regular functions which I'm putting here. But you can use a number of mathematical function as good as like sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta. Those things also you can use it, but on a regular databases we don't, I mean, so on a data wise we don't use it. That's the reason we don't put it. But if you go for a scientific projects, definitely they use it. But most of the time we are not working on a scientific project, so we are good with that. So that's about the mathematical function. And you have a string functions. So if you want to concatenate first name and last name with the like you want to display as a name, so we can use the concatenation. We can use init cap, like first letter as a capital and rest of the thing as like thing. So basically where we use the all these functions in, we use all these functions in a select statement. So that will in that way like it will be very helpful for you guys like to pull up the, I mean, so to change the data, I mean, to show the data in a different way than what it is on the table. So if you have a table like you have everything on the capital letter, but on the display wise, I don't want to see everything on the capital letter. I just want to see like init cap, or I want to see all the lower case. Then definitely means you can use these functions and display in the application. Basically everything whatever we are doing on the select, we will be using, means we will sending data to application. The application can be Java, the application can be a report, or the application can be .NET, anything like basically all the application, the core is the backend. So they can't, So most of the time, like the application guys will just develop the screens and everything, like how it will be, how neatly it should be. Even banking, like if you go to the online banking, you see the screen, but the data behind it, like the columns, the data it is coming behind it is from a database. Either it can be Teradata, it can be Oracle, or it can be SQL Server or anything, but it has to have to be a database. Otherwise, like they can't store it, the data. So they just like the appearance wise, they can change, they can see it and change it. That's all they do. So you're clear on that, right? Like where exactly the database role comes, and where exactly we are going to use these functions, and like just get an like a real-time scenario idea. So if you have further question, just stop me and ask me, so that this will be more useful. Like if you might got like a lot of questions on like what I'm going to do on a real time. So this is always like for a fresher guy, this is always going to be, but this is how we use it. We write up a simple functions and give it to the application guy, and they will do it whatever they want. Like they do it, like they display in a right, they do, all they do is the presentation most of the time. So they don't write up like means the mathematical functions or string functions, or like they just ask us to develop and give it to us. That's a database role. Okay, so now we will be covering today date functions and date functions and the conversion functions. So the date functions basically, so we have dates stored on the table. So basically number, varchar, the string, and as well as the dates. These are the three key data types which we use. So date is one of them, and we always play means the data means the data with the day. Usually, like I want to get all the transaction for a particular day. I want to see all the sales happen on the day. So these are the general requirements, and I want to see all the means how much I sell on like on a particular how much I say my how much business I do on a particular month. So regularly, even like if you go to the banking, so how much per a month, like how many deposits happen, how many means how many withdrawals happen for a particular month. Even statements, you get it on a month basis. So all these things is happening on the date function. So you have a date on your table on a particular, like different ways. Then basically what we are doing using is this is we are using this for like basically, so to present it, like how we are going to present. So dates is also very key on plays very key role on the Oracle, means any databases, not only Oracle, any databases. So dates are going to be very means crucial and critical for us. And so we have like we have different date functions available. So these are the few of them, like so I'll show one by one, like and we have so many, but we just cover, like we just talk about like few today. So basically so of the very first thing is the sysdate. So dual is basically in Oracle. What dual does is, like you want to see a particular value. So from a database, you just call it dual. So it will give us, like any system defined function. If you want to select it, you can use a dual. Dual doesn't have any meaning. So if you go to the dual table, it won't appearing on the so it's a system table. You don't get it, like this is called a pseudo tables. So you don't see it even like you refresh it, if you don't see it anywhere in the dual. I mean, so you don't see a dual anywhere on the table list. But dual will be a pseudo column, so it will help write up a, like to give a, like fetching I mean to write up a system defined function. If you want to retrieve a data, then we use dual. If you see select star from dual, so you just see like you just to see two columns. I mean, so it will just give you x and some x, I mean some junk value. So it's a dummy column. You don't never see the dummy column, and it will give the x. But basically what it will helping us like to retrieve the function information. So if I want to see the sys date, like what is today date on any databases, so you write up select sys date from dual. Dual is the most important, like most important functionality, but just to retrieve the any function. So when you say select sysdate from dual, so you'll get it like 29th July. So today is 29th July. So I just want to see like what is the date for 10 days ago. So just say you say just sysdate -1, then this will give you. So minus is also arithmetical, means is a like basically is a mathematical operation, right? So this is how we use it, mathematical operation. So 29 minus 10, it will give like 19th July. And even like I just want to the what would be the future date, like what would be the future date for like let's say plus 20, like after I want to see what would be the date after 20 days. So if you see now 29th is today date and August 18th would be the like future date, like this is how we like we give. So basically you will play a lot, like if you want to see data between months, so this is one of the operations, so we give it. So and the same time, like so we have add months. So if you say like I want to add months for a sysdate add add months of, so I want to add like to for a current month I want to see what would be the value for the after 2 months, what would be the if I see from now onwards, like what would be after 2 months. So you just say sysdate plus add 2 months, you see like 29 September. So right now we are in a July and August and September. So similar way, like I want to see what would be like after 11 months, what would be the what would be the date from 11 months from now. So we will be getting 29th July 16th, like 2016 we will be in a new year. So add months is basically you are adding months for a particular sys date, or you can add months to a like to employee table as well. So if you say select star from, so if you say select star from employees, so what you get, like you get a date. So your date is hire date. I just want to see like what would be the hire date after like after adding 2 months. So basically, so to display all the columns, I'm writing alias with the star that will give all the columns, and I'm writing add months and add months of like hire date comma 11, or like just I will add 2 months, just 2 months, so that I'm giving like aliases for the column as well for this so I'm just giving alias as new hire date or something like that. I want to hire these guys after 2 months from the joining date, just like that would be a requirement. So that's a common scenario, right? Like we will be hiring, like we will stop hiring for some time and just we'll hire new employees. So they'll ask us to give us like what would be the new joining date or something like that. So then what we do is like we just have add months. Okay, then we'll have
And there is no as in before new for hire.
what? So if you see
There
now,
is no as here.
uh-huh.
Okay, okay, no problem.
This is about the months. Actually you can add years as well. I'm sorry, I was I'm talking about years. This is months. So yeah, you can have the add years as well. You can add the years as well. That's not a that there is one more functions available. You have add date as well, you have function available. So that's not a, so right now we are discussing. So if you see now, like his high date is 17th June, but we'll the new high date will be like 17th August, like June, and if you add 2 months it would be August. You got it right? So this is about the add months. So far we discussed about like the sys date and how we retrieve from the dual value, and the last one. So sometimes you got like I just want to find out what would be the last date, last day. So you just write up excuse me guys. So last day of sys date. So for this month, I just want to know the last date. So if you say I want to see the last date of this month, so you write up last day and just say like last day is 31st July. So I just want to know what is the last day for previous month. So you just say like sys date minus 30 days, right? So you will be in the last month and we will be getting like last 30th June. So if you want to see 60 days means before 2 months, like what would be the value, like what would be the last day. So for the month of May, 31st May is the last day. So this will, you have the similar way, you have the first day as well. And so we have a lot of functions available. Depend on the scenario, depend on the requirement, we will be using them. Do you guys have any questions so far?
Why we are using dual?
Why we are using June?
The dual.
Dual. So basically, if you want to see, if you want to say, so any query, we have to write a select statement, right? Anything, if you want to retrieve it from the database, you have to use a select statement. So if you say sys date, and if you say now this one, if we run it, you don't get it. Like you have to write a select statement. So we will be writing a select statement. Select statement always follows a from. Select star from and a table name. You have to, this is a format, like if there is any syntax missing, then it will throw error, like so if I say select star from, it won't give, even this is a syntax error because select sysdate, like from. So if you want to retrieve like any system defined function information, then we use the dual. So basically dual doesn't have any value or worth. Basically this is not a table, this is not a view or something like that. Basically what, to retrieve any functions information, then we will write up a dual. You got it? Suppose I want to display like just a ram, or like so I just want to display just like that, like so what you have from a select statement, then you just write up like something like this. So it'll just give a like a ram. And so you display RAM, like it's in the select statement, it will accept the single quotes. That's the only thing. So basically if you want to retrieve any system, means we don't use it most of the time, like something like this, but I'm just giving an example to better way to understand it. So most of the time any system defined functions you want to display, if you want to see what, like the value of the system defined function, then we use the dual. Is that clear, Sambhavi, or you still have any question?
Yeah, previously I have used when I was inserting data to a table. Like I got a from w3schools.com. I had got a quotations like insert all and few values, and down it had select start from dual. It came like that. Then I did not understand why it came, but it was inserted the data into the table.
Right. So that is not for a, like insert purpose. So basically, like each and every functionality, each and every statement has its own meaning. It's as its own use. But if you want to insert a table, insert a data, so you have a different approach, different format. Like you have to insert to a table and you have to write up all the columns and you have to insert like all the values for that column. But this dual is basically designed to get like any system defined function you want to get the data out of it. If there is no without the table, then you write up this way. So each and every command,
Okay, it's temporary table.
yeah, it's a
That's what
temporary, exactly, it's a temporary table, that's correct. Yeah, go on, Shamba. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I want to make sure. It's like it's just creating a temporary table to display the output. That's it, right?
right, that's correct, that's exactly correct. To display output, we just like it's a temporary table to display output of system defined functions, then we use the dual. So
Okay.
even in real time environment we use a lot this one, because sometimes I want to know what is the sysdate and I want to do something out of it. So basically
Is
you
RAM
this,
also
Yeah, this is,
Yeah.
I was giving just like, wrong, this is a wrong example. We don't use it this way, but this is
No,
what
no.
you can do.
Like any name, if I
Any,
include select Pratik from dual, it shows my name also.
yes. You can do as good. I'm sorry. I think I missed your. I mean, I didn't spell your name right. But
No,
this
no
this
problem.
yeah. So this is how we do it.
Okay.
Okay.
So Pratik is not system defined function. It's just like
It's not a system.
something.
No, no. I'm just telling you, like, I'm giving an example. If I you like, just it will return it what it's a, like, echo. You might have heard about echo, right? Echo in other, like,
Yeah.
if you are a Unix, or like, if you are a computer background, you might have seen, like, C or C++. You see echo, you type something, it will show off, right? It will work similar to echo. If you go to DOS and if you say echo, it will just display the same thing. Echo is like, resound, right? So if I go DOS, usually if I say echo something, so it will just say the repeat. It will repeat that word, right? It will resound. That means echo means, like, it will resound it back, right? So similar way, like, it will work as echo. Different tools or different technologies. It has you have its own, like, a own way to have the system defined functions. So so it will work similar to echo, and basically what dual is a system defined function to display a particular information. Then we write up a to see a system defined data. Then we write a dual. Means we use the dual. It's clear, right? I still have any question, because dual in real-time environment we are going to use a lot, because most of the times people will get confused. That's the reason I'm just repeating, stressing it. Yeah, if I have any further questions, ask. No worry, even if it is a simple question, don't worry, just ask me. Okay. So that's about the date functions. And suppose so you can see, like, I just want to see you, like, what are the all the values from this is date. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so the next thing is, like, the conversion functions. So you guys understand, like, what are the data types, right? You have a tochar, you have, like, you have number, you have varchar, you have date. So these are the different like, data types we have, right? So far you guys are clear on that one, right? The data types.
Yes.
Okay. So you have a data type defined on your column, like, let's say, like, you have a data type, so you for each column, it is basically you have a data type, right? So employee ID is a number, and employee first name has, like, varchar, and her date as a date, and like, job ID as a varchar, and you have salary and other things as a number. Okay. Suppose for some means in real time scenario, like, you so the application guys will ask you, like, even it is stored as a number, the value. I want to, because the application has a limitation, Java has a limitation, I want to have the string value. So you need to convert that value. So for the display purpose, you want to convert a value, like, to convert to a data type. Then what you have to do is you have a different conversion data type. Suppose if you want to convert from number to character, from date to character, then you have to use that to char. Most of the time you don't use to clock, but we have that as well. So just take it out this one. So most of the time, like, you don't use to clock, just don't worry about that. But we have the functional, like, if you want to convert from number to clock, or like, day to clock, you can do it. Clock will come to like, differentiation on clock and blob. It will come later part of it, like, don't worry about right now. Okay, and to date. If you have, like, number, or if you have a character, if you want to convert to date, yes, we can convert that value to the from the to date. two number, most of the time we have a so much limitation. So even varchar, sometimes you store a value of the number value. Suppose if you want to convert that, we use the two number. But most of the cases we use the to char and to date. These are the two functionalities which we will most of the time we will be converting from number to character, because number to character you don't have any limitation. You just convert any number value to a to character. Basically this will be useful to convert a data type. This will be useful for the applications, because basically the database is for the to show the data for the applications, any application, Java application, or like you can even the bank state is called application, for example. So if you want to show like you want to see your account number, and like you want to see your transaction details and other stuff. So basically you want to see a different because Java has its own limitations. They have some problem, like when you say the number, they have to do so much of things. So most of the time the guys prefer to have the string or something like that. So basically if you want to convert and give it a string value to them, even though it is a number data type on our table, basically we use one of the conversion operator. So we'll see like how it going to work. Suppose let's say like I have a, employee ID as a number, right? So I want to convert that one to character. So select means
Char.
so you are just like if you give it this one to application, like employee ID, emp ID. So basically you, even though it is a number data type on our table, basically what you are doing is you are just giving as a character. So this is a character now, even though it is stored as a number on our table. So when someone is using this value from the select statement, it is basically a character value. So similar way, like you have a date operator, like select star from. So I always use e star, like this will give better, I mean it will give all the details of the table. So basically suppose you have a date operator. So I just want to convert to the to char. Yes, you can do like you can convert to a to char, right? So basically like if you want to convert it, you have to write to char. To char of like hide date, comma. So these like we have a, like a format columns, like if you want to display date type, like you have to convert it. Basically you have to say like you most of the time you say month dd, it's a day, and y. This will give the year. And so far we'll do in this one. Later we'll do some other format as well. So this is a char hide date. So if you see now, so so if you see that now the hide date is on a character way, like you are converting, even though it is a, so when someone is accessing this character value from the application, basically you are sending in a if you are, I mean if someone is using this char hide date column, so you will be sending it to the to char value. Suppose so you will see the same thing, like hide date is date is stored as a date, and it is like 17 June 2003. We are sending in a different format. Basically if we are converting the format. Suppose I want to see the date and time as well. Basically what you have a similar way, like this is hour, and this will give minutes, and this will give seconds. So every time, like if you are storing the data on the table, it will be like storing on a hour, minutes, and everything. So basically it stores as a 12 p.m. and just it will give everything. This the 12 is hour, and 00 first 00 is the minutes, and last 00 is hours. Basically you are converting the date value right now to a character value. Okay, so similar way, like you have any number, because most of the time, like you can't convert because you can't convert a character to a number, right? So that's the reason you get it, like you can't convert from two number, like a character value to a number, because that you can't convert it, because numbers should be always number, so you get an error. But if there is a column, it's stored as a number, even though it is a varchar, then definitely you can use a two number means a function. So similar way, the same thing, like you can convert a character value to date, but we are not storing. You can store on a varchar to data type. You can store the data as well, but we haven't stored here. But if you want to convert to date, yes, you can do it, like similar way, to date of high date, comma, similar way you have to mention, like the format. It would be, you can, now we can say dd. You can do whichever format you want. I want to store display only two values of the year, comma, hh. So if you see now, now you see the date, you see, like you see the this format. Uh, I know right now it is not converting to HHMMSS. Like we need to convert. I mean, the format we need to change it. It should be on the database. I mean, database administrator will change it. Every time. That's the reason we are not able to see the, like minutes and everything. But you can say, like YY as well. This will allow, like show us, like the year as well. You need to change the. We need to alter the system. Okay, I'll explain you, like when the date function comes, I'll explain that one, like we need to alter the system to show up the, like full length of the high date. If it is this is a date type, right? So that's the reason, like it on the database administrator. So when they create the databases, they will always say dd mon. This is mon format, like usually, like d this is called the mon format. So they have defined like that. That's the reason it's not showing up, like hours and minutes. So if you see now, it is showing as a June. So two character, it is showing as a June. So basically, to convert any value, to convert a different from a particular data type to another data, if you want to convert one data type to another data type, we use I mean conversion data types. Like if you want to convert from number to a character, then you use two from character to number. If it is allowed, like if the data is stored in a number format, then definitely you can use two number. Similarly, like if you want to convert a to date, if it is allowed, then we have to use a to date. Is that clear, guys, so far?
Yes.
So that's about the conversion functions. So I'll go brief on, like the join tables. I'll explain. I mean, so will because this is a lengthy topic, and we need, like at least a 1.5 hour session on that one. But to I just want to give a hints up, like I will give you, like basic the first things to you guys. So this is just a, like brief about the joins and everything. So basically we have tables, and we have a different tables, and we have like on a database particular, like in live environment, we would be having, like n number of tables. Sometimes you have 400 or 500 tables. So basically we will be storing data on the tables. So but the basic purpose, like but basic purpose of the tables is, like we create, like in different format, different because we can't fit it on each and every the whole application on one particular table. It would be like even if you create 1,000 columns, you can't fit it the whole thing on the one particular table. So we will be distributing the tables to we will be distributing the columns to a different tables. So but in certain I mean, so most of the time, like we have a different tables, but if you want to join between the two tables, you want to get certain information from employee table and certain information from the department table. Basically what we do is, like we write up a joins. So basically if you want to tie means if you want to make a relation or tie between the two tables, we have a different we use a different joins. So one of the joins is, the first thing is the inner join and equi-join, someone call, and right outer join and left outer join. These are, like most of the time, like and full outer join or Cartesian product. So we have four type of joins available. So basically the first basic thing of the join is basically to retrieve the data from the multiple tables. So we will be using the joins. So it could be on from a two tables, it could be from a number of tables. It could go on up to, like whatever the tables. If your database have, like 400 columns, then you can 400 tables, you can join 400 tables. So there is no limitation on that one. But most of the time we will be writing, like one or two or three or four tables, and 10 tables up to max in a live environment. But but basically to retrieve the means information between the two means to retrieve certain information from particular table and certain columns from a different table, then we use a joins. So we have a different there we have a different joins available. The first one is the inner join and left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join. There are four types of joins available. So basically these are the joins available in the this is a predefined joins available. So we will be using for, like to retrieve the data from different table, two combination of the table, we will be using the joins. The first one is the inner join, or, like sometimes it is called as equi-join. Don't get confused. Inner join or equi-join, or both are same. So some people some databases, like Oracle, it will call inner join, but sometimes people will call equi-join. But some is some, if you go to the SQL server, it is called as the equi-join. They won't call it as inner join. But basically the functionality behind it is the same. That's why, like when you go to the live environment, they say, like can you write a equi-join? So but the functionality between the equi-join and the inner join is also both are same. So when there is a, like when there is a relation between the two tables, so you will be writing a inner join. So suppose so you have a match column, like you have a, we'll go, like practical session tomorrow. I just explained you the theoretical part today. So when you have a join and you have a two tables, and there is a, like common column between the two tables. Let's say, like we have an employees table, we have a department number, employee information, employee ID, name, address, and phone number. We have a department, and at the same time, like if you want, you have a department table, we have a department number and department ID, or a department name. So this, so the basic the between the employees and department, the common column between the employee and department is the employee department ID. So basically you can write up a equi-join on a department ID, because it is common between the both tables. And so what is the advantage of joining that one is, like you don't have a department name on the employee table. So if you want to see the department name, what would, because ID return won't give, like sufficient information. With ID you can't, you don't know, like what department, because you do, it's null. So basically if you want to see a department name, so basically you use the inner join. So there is any common columns between the two tables, and so then you go for an inner join. So if it is not common column, like you don't retrieve, and if there is no data, you can, even though if it is not a common column, you can write up a join, but basically you don't get a required information. So basically you write up a equi-join or inner join on a common column. So if the records are matched between the two tables, it will retrieve the only the records which are matched between the two tables. Suppose if you on an employee table, you have, like you have 200 department, which is not there on the department table, the 200 recorded won't fetch up. So basically if you don't have a I mean, so if you don't have a corresponding data, no, this is about, we are talking about joins on the data level, not at the table level. Basically we are talking about whenever we talk about the joins, we are talk about the data on inside the tables. So so if you write up a join on a column, you write up a join on a column, but you basically why we write up a join on the column is to retrieve the data. So if you want to retrieve, I mean, if you want to retrieve the combination of the data which are equivalent to a particular equivalent to both the condition, I mean, so both if the both the data is got satisfied, then it will retrieve the data and give it and present it in front of you. So this will be like visual way you can see. So if you have common data department number, you have 10, 20, 30, let's say on the table 1, and you have 10, 20. So basically what we do is you have a union, right? You will get 10, 10 and 20. So basically if it is matched, then it'll get, you will get the data of both satisfied. Suppose table 1 has 10 on the department ID column, table 1 has 10, 20, 30, and assumption that on the department table you have only 10 and 20. So basically what you get on the out of the results is 10 and 20 data. Are you guys are following so far?
Yes.
Okay, so basically inner join is if it is satisfied between the two the satisfied both the conditions and both the data at the data level, then it will retrieve those only those information. So we have a similar way, we have a right outer join. So and right outer join is basically returns all the records from the right hand side of the table. So basically, so you have a situation where you want to retrieve all the data from the table 2, and but matching columns on the table 1. You get a scenario similar to way, but in a live environment. So basically if you want to retrieve a data from all the columns from right hand side of the table, and all the columns, I mean, then so only a matching column from the left hand side of the table, then we go on a right outer join. Left outer join also works on a similar way basically, but you will be retrieving all the data from the left hand side and only a matching data from the right hand table, then we retrieve the we will be doing the left outer join. Full outer join is you want to retrieve means there is full outer join equivalent to Cartesian. Sometimes we will call this as a also Cartesian join. So full outer join is I want to retrieve both table A and table B all the data. So irrespective of it is matching or not matching, I want to retrieve and show everything on my table, then we go on a full outer join. So sometimes we call it as a Cartesian join as well. So just means I'll put this document on the shared drive. Just you guys just go through it one more time. Tomorrow we'll be covering this as well as with the come, if you have any questions, come up with the questions because this is the most important of the means Oracle developer. Means if you work as a Oracle developer, you have to understand this is when you understand, means when you're having a class, you feel this is so simple, but if you want to work as an Oracle developer, this is the most important thing you'll be working on that one. So just search something whatever level you can, and then just come back with the questions, and we will be having a training session just do you guys have any questions so far?
Uh, can you give practice examples so that we can
Yeah,
practice?
I'll be giving, because it takes a lot of time to go through it. Yes, definitely we'll have a factory session tomorrow. The whole session for tomorrow is on only joins.
No, no. Like, can you give practice examples so that we can practice on everything?
Okay, so basically you go to the table if you see now.
Okay.
So you have a employee table and you have a departments table, right? So employee is E. So I'm giving alias. and I'm giving like department. I'm giving alias. So both the so we will write up like when you write a join, you always use the where clause. So if you want to retrieve a data from the table, like you have a from clause on the table list, and if you want to have join, like you will be writing the where clause. So I can use alias instead of the whole table name. So this is where we use like e dot. So otherwise you have to use the whole table name e dot department number, department ID, I think, equal to d dot department ID. So this is one more advantage. If you put the alias name dot dot, it will give up all the columns from the department ID. Okay, so you have to write up the column names here. I want to display only e dot, like all the records from, let's say I want to employ. I don't want all the columns. I just want to have the columns like I just want employee ID from the employee table, and e dot I want to have the first name. I just want the last name as well, comma, I just want the hire date as well, comma, I just from the department table I just want to get like department. I want to see the department name. So now this is called the equijoin because we are writing the equal, like or inner join. This is also called the inner join. So if you see now, if you see now, so we don't have a department name on the department, I mean on the employee table, right? So I just want to see that what department he belongs to, what departments the Jennifer is belongs to. Then you come up like so instead of having the number will won't give any meaningful information for us. So if you want to see the that information, like, which department name he belongs to, then we'll write up, because these two are in a different tables. The data department name is in a different table, and if you want to see like combination of the employee and like combination of the columns, certain combination of the columns from employee table and certain combination columns from the other table, like department table here in the case. So then you write up a equijoin and just display those columns. Those are so following so far.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to see the location ID of from the department table. Yes, you can add as many columns. You can add all the columns between the two tables. You can add as many columns as you can. So you see like which location he belongs to. You can see, give the location information. So basically, if you want to get the certain information from one particular table, certain information from other particular table, there is a combination between the tables. Then we will be using the joins. You guys got it? Don't worry, like we will be having the full practical session tomorrow on this one. So this like and come up with the question, like just go through it and come up with the questions tomorrow. Okay guys?
Can you upload last 3-day classes from Monday to today?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Hello?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm doing that.
No, I have a question.
Yeah, Pratik, go on.
Yeah, you joined the tables, but nowhere you use the join command.
Yeah, so the equal sign is a join. So if it is a
Okay.
left outer join, you'll be right. So there are two ways to write it. So this is the general normal way people will use it, and there is a natural joins people will call it, and you can write it in a different way. Select so we'll come up with the column name list. Select star from. Sometimes people will I mean it will little tougher, like that's why people won't use it. So you can write it
Okay.
employees e. You'll write it here inner join department d on e dot equal to t dot, and so you don't need a where clause here because we will be using there, and you want the same column list. I'm using the same column list. You can select a different column list as well. So this is the inner join. So people will call it inner join or equi-join, because here it will call it equi-join and here it is called it inner join. So you will get the same results between the two tables. If you try now, I'm just posting this one to you. So it will give the basically two ways. So you can write up the query in two ways. This is natural and this is called the natural join. People still use it this way as well. And this is this is the equi-join. This is the common way we use it, and this is called equi-join. You can write up anyway, but the results are same. Is that clear, Pratik?
Okay. Yeah. The first one looks much better.
I'm sorry.
First one looks much better instead of using inner join.
Yeah, but if you go to the live environment, so you see both, but don't get confused. You can use this way, and no one will force you to write this way, or this is a little confusing some when you are using first time. But once you understand the better, like the concepts in a better way, then definitely this is a lot easier. People, I like this one. I like writing in a natural join. But
Okay.
but you have to understand the concepts first, and you have to understand in a better way. This is more meaningful, this is clearly explains you. Select start from table name, inner join, and that means you're inner joining between the two tables, and based on on what, on the column names. This is self
Okay.
explanatory. But I when I was started my career, I was using this way. I was much comfortable on that, but there is no
What if I
restriction.
want to use right outer join? I
Yeah,
have to
right
use
outer. I'll
greater than
explain that
symbol.
one. Right outer join is as we talked about it, right? Like right outer join is I want to get all the data from the right table,
Okay.
right hand side. This is the right hand side. D is the right hand side. D means the department. So if I want to retrieve all the data from right hand side table, then you have to use the right outer join. And the similar way, if you want to use the all the data from the left hand table, you use the left outer join. So so if you make this department as a left hand side, then you will be right or left depend on the position of the table name. You will be retrieving the data the same way. So most of the time we use the left outer join.
Okay.
Full outer join is Cartesian product, all the records from the employee table, all the records from the department table, even though there is no matching, it will retrieve the data. So it's a Cartesian product. Suppose if you have 3 records on the employee table, if you have 2 records on the department table, it's it's a combination, 3 factorial. You will be retrieving so 6 records. One record from employee table and matches with the 2 records, which will be 2, and the second record and 2 records on the right hand side department table, again 2. So you'll be getting 3 factorial. Suppose you have 4 records on the left hand side table, an employee table, and 2 records on the department table, then you get 4 plus 2, 6 factorial records. So 6 factorial, how many records you get it, those many records. So basically you're retrieving all the data. Yes, we will be using that as well, but 99% of the cases we will be using either equi-join or a left outer join. 60% cases we use the equi-join, and 40% cases 40 or not 40, 39, 38% of the cases we use the left or right outer join, either of thing, and full outer join 1 or 2%, 1% I can say. So most of the time if you write a query, you will be using a 1% in a live environment. It depends what database and how you're working. So far good, guys, or you guys have any questions?
We are clear.
Okay guys, I'll put the videos, don't worry about that. I do have the videos. I'll put the videos in the shared drive, and I'll put it, and I'll email you guys. Okay.
Sure.
And you guys have any questions so far? Or?
Yeah, we are good.
Okay, guys. Okay, so just practice it.